Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I'm showing off an attack that I personally don't believe to be the best variant of this attack, but I've had a friend continually push and tell me how good this spell is. So today I want to show off this spell and how to execute this attack properly using this spell, the spell being the revive spell. So without further ado, let's get into some attacks and show how to use this thing properly. So we're looking at a fully supercharged Town Hall 17 here. I guess he is upgrading some things over here or supercharging them. But I'm kind of seeing that we can go through the base this way. You know, start from the bottom, and we can do that with the RC charge or with the dragons. But I'm thinking that the Town Hall and that giant bomb, getting rid of that, is going to be more valuable for the RC charge. You can see here for this attack today, we are running the Phoenix on the RC as well as Diggy on the King. The reason why I chose to do that is because we are using the revive spell, and I do personally think that the recall is going to be better in most situations. So I decided, hey, if we're going to show off some interesting stuff today like the revive spell, let's show off this strategy as well. Now here's what I will say. There are going to be times where running the Phoenix on the RC makes more sense. For example, an attack where you're starting at the Town Hall like this one, the Phoenix makes more sense because she has to be visible for a second, so she will take damage from the Town Hall no matter what. And so sometimes the Spirit Fox just doesn't help out. I'll finish saying what I'm saying here in a second. I just want to start the hero dive. So let's start the hero dive from over here. We'll do the siege barrack over here. I want the siege barrack to go this way, and I'm going to try and really get the king into the middle. And we want the attack. I'm pretty much just going to send the queen and the king in immediately. And we'll even clear out these to make sure the dragons go through the core of the base here. Okay, so we're going to start from up top. We're going to go through the core, and when we get past the RC, that is when we are going to deploy the revive spell. And the idea is we are looking to hopefully get the warden to pass the RC as well. That way we can throw down the ability on the RC and keep the RC alive as well. So you can see the warden's moving this way, so this is a really good time. We're going to use the revive spell. The RC is going to come back alive, and now we can move through. We'll use the ability right there. Everything's looking a little low. We have a skeleton spell if we need to deal with the monolith. We were able to take that out early with the RC charge. But you can see that this base is just getting absolutely crushed. Time is not an issue. Troops are not an issue. This base is getting crushed. But so I would say that, yeah, if you're going for the core, you're going where the Town Hall is, the Phoenix is going to be better. If you're going for an attack where you're not planning on getting the core or where the Town Hall is, it's not as big of a deal. You're going to want to use the Spirit Fox because you're going to get that extra 4 seconds of invisibility after every single invis spell. So you're getting a lot of time and you're able to clear out a lot more. And when you're not in a high damage area, waiting that little second where she takes some damage is not really a big deal. But yeah, you can see how that attack works. Let's take a look at the replay and really break down exactly what I'm seeing in this attack. So when I look at this base, we have the RC charge, we have the mass dragons. I'm running the siege barrack and I'm running the troop launcher, and then I'm also running the stone slammer. The reason why is if I go, this is an attack where I want to support the dragons as much as possible, we run the stone slammer. This is an attack where I kind of want to funnel the king in, or there's a lot of trash buildings we need to take out. For example, in this attack where we had all these gold storages, that's where I'm going to use the siege barrack. But if I was starting from like this corner, for example, where I could really use barbs to clean out these trash buildings, and I'd rather support the heroes than really funnel them in, that would be a scenario when I would use the troop launcher. So again, we're always read and reacting. But so for this attack, I see this area down here, so I decide RC charge is going to be really good in this area. Now I'm not going to play the whole replay, I just want to let it play while I explain. I decided the RC charge is going to be perfect in this area, and we can really kind of just turn the base into this 2 kind of layered top section, and we can just spread our dragons at the top, and they're just going to come through and clear through. I obviously wanted to reduce how much the dragons had to do. I can do that by either helping really funnel them into the core from up here, or from up here, or I can just try and help them by, you know, starting the dive from down here. And you can see that I was able to take out this whole section, and that way when the dragons came to the back end, there was not nearly as much for them to deal with. The last thing that I want to point out, and I did make it obvious during the attack, but we want the attack to come over the RC, and then we can use the ability and keep the RC alive for some of the attack. And you can see that she ends up doing some really, really good work for us here. She gets revived, she gets into the ability, and she ends up doing some great work, almost surviving the whole attack, but getting to that last ricochet, obviously not a problem for the dragons. Yeah, that's how the attack works. But I'd like to show off how that the execution of this attack one more time. Okay, so here with this attack, I'm going to want the Root Riders to go through the middle, so this section, through this core, and get to the Town Hall. That's where we want to use the ability, which means we're going to want to use the RC charge on one of these sides, and the Minion Prince on the other side. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do the RC charge from this side. You can see that the attacks changed up as well. I'm no longer using the Masked Dragons. The reason why is because I've noticed that in the meta, using these ground expos is a lot more common, and the dragons are, you know, they're just not tanking for the RC for obvious reasons, as the RC is air. Oh, sorry, the RC is ground and the dragons are air. So the dragons are not taking first, so I wanted to use you know, troops that would actually help tank the RC. But she is actually going to get more value than I honestly suspected she would be able to get. Hopefully, we honestly don't really need much more here. If she wants to grab the queen, if she wants to... Okay, so we're actually going to do this attack a little bit differently because we were able to grab more than I thought. Oh, and she still had her ability. I completely forgot to use her ability. So we're going to use some barbs, really help funnel into this section where we will use this guy, our Minion Prince, our Queen, and we'll get everything into this core right here. Get our two Yetis, and everything is going to go right through the middle. We have the skeleton spell for you. Our RC is right here, so we'll revive her right there. We'll get her to go in. We use the ability, and you can see that we are just doing so much damage here. We have so much coming through the middle. We're still getting healed even after that giant bomb, and this is not going to be a problem. With 5 barbs left, we'll throw down our 3 balloons down here, and we'll start using our barbs in a second here. I think I want to wait another second before I use the barbs. Use a barb up here. Use a barb here, a barb here, a barb here, a barb there. And that is just total domination. We'll go over the replay as well to talk about what I initially saw, honestly, that didn't end up working out. But we'll talk about what we ended up doing. Anyways, you can see that it worked out no problem. Get to that last gold storage there. And there it is, a nice and easy 3-star. So once again, I changed my approach for this attack just because I realized the revive spell was pretty much having 0 value in the dragon attack. I still wanted to show off the dragon attack, but it was having 0 value in that attack. So let's talk about what I was seeing here, and then we'll end up talking about what the improvised version ended up looking like. But I was thinking that I could take out this section, and that would just leave these builder huts, the ricochet, and that would force the Root Riders, the Yetis, to go through the middle to the ricochet to here, and this would be the perfect point by the scatter shots to use that ability. We would take out the scatter shots, we take out the fire spitters, we take out the town hall, this whole section, and then we'd hopefully have just enough Minion Prince, Queen, whatnot to kind of clear. And then the idea would have been to use a siege barrack on this side, the minion prince to clear these because he has the angry jelly and everything go through with that funnel. We ended up taking out this whole thing, as you guys saw, and we were able to start the attack from this side where we could funnel in to the core this way. Again, the same idea. We just need to find a way to funnel everything into the core, and that's when we're going to use the ability. To be honest, I do want to make some adjustments to this attack when I show it off. I think that the Minion Prince is good for grabbing some of these outside defenses, but he really dies too early, and I think that the King, honestly, is able to execute the what the Minion Prince is doing. So total domination. So obviously everything needs to be improvised. You're looking at war attacks and whatnot, but I will just give you the best attack that doesn't have to be improvised if you're doing Legends League. So this is what your troops are going to look like. It's not going to look different than this. If you do have the 340 housing space, it's going to look slightly different. You could use a second Apprentice Warden to help back up your hero dive. You could use some, extra archers and some balloons. There's really a few things that you can really adjust, but I would really say, honestly, either use more barbs for better funneling or cleanup, or use another Apprentice Warden to help support the hero dive, give them some extra health and whatnot. We really don't want this. We're going to want this. We'll even throw that in as well. Because we were using the revive spell in this video, I took out the recall and I gave myself 2 extra invis spells to get as much value as I can. We had the skeleton spell, which was used well in this attack, as you guys saw, to distract the monolith, and then obviously we're just going to back up our attack with some support root riders and whatnot. Even the support root riders in the troop launcher is going to be good, but you could always throw ice golems in that. The ice golems in the troop launcher has just been a really good strategy. It supports the hero dive, and it just freezes defenses as your hero dive goes in. It just works so well. Obviously, for the pets, we do have an upgrading pet here, but we do want the Spirit Fox on the RC. I would say that Sneezy actually is going to be better than Diggy for this attack, just to kind of help take out traps, because those boogers are going to go in before the healers do, always. So using Sneezy, I think, and helping getting those boogers and taking out traps is good. I would use it with the Warden, honestly. I was going to say you can use it with the Queen, but I would use it with the Warden, have the healers distract. The Unicorn is always good on the Queen. Frosty is always good on the Queen. I could honestly see Diggy being pretty useful on the Queen. But I would say if you're not going to use the Minion Prince, that you're going to want to use the King, and you would use Diggy on the King. That's what it would look like. But yeah, that's pretty much what the attack looks like with the revive spell. I do honestly believe, though, if I was showing the best attack for a majority of bases, I would honestly recommend having the recall spell in instead. It would usually look like this, would have a recall, and then in here I would have an overgrowth to help get the RC into the core or whatnot. But yeah, thank you guys for watching today's video. That was a revive spell showcase, as well as the Root Riders with the Dragons at Town Hall 17. We're making some progress here. We got a decent amount of walls done. Can we do one here as well? We can do another one. So you can see that we almost have this segment here. And then also, it still hasn't happened, but the I believe my Fireball will be able to get past level 17 soon, so once I do, we can finally start showing off some Furnace attacks. And also with the June, there's probably going to be a June update, so there's a lot of talk about a potential Legends League change, which would be really, really exciting. But for sure, even if they don't change it for sure, next month, definitely joining it. But anyways, thank you guys for watching today's video, and I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow.